be able to direct you in that as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Roberta, who is doing great work in the area of judicial mediation.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming out, as Carol said, on this awful night. I'll be very brief as well. You have folders that have some specific information about the Judicial Branch Mediation Program. What this program is if you have been served a foreclosure lawsuit from your lender, then you meet certain criteria, you would qualify to meet with a mediator who has some authority to require your lender to talk with you. Again, the legislators who are here, I hope that, I'm sure they've heard this from lots of people, but I want to reiterate that you should feel very proud about living in the state of Connecticut, because when this foreclosure crisis began, lots of states didn't foresee that, and they really didn't get on board with what programs might be able to be created to help, but Connecticut did. And very early on, in maybe February of 2008, we at the Judicial Branch got word about the possibility of a foreclosure mediation program being created through the legislature, which we would then implement. And it came into being in May of 2008. The governor signed it in June, and we had to be up and running on July 1st. And what we've heard from homeowners again and again and again, and probably what you all know or have heard from others is, I'm trying to work this out with my lender, but because of all of the issues that have occurred with securitization and mortgages and how you have these large out-of-state servicers, you can't walk down to a community bank anymore and have a conversation with the loan officer who gave you your loan. You're trying to reach an entity that is often in Texas or California, and every time you call, you either don't get through, or you get someone who doesn't have information about your particular loan, or tells you that they have information about your particular loan, but it's wrong. And so, again, what this program does is pull the people who have the authority to make an agreement with you into the room, and they do that in the court process. So we have some power there. Luckily, if lenders want to foreclose and take your home from you, they can't do that in the state of Connecticut until they go to court. And this program doesn't stop the foreclosure lawsuit, but what it does is sort of put a little road bump in the lender's way and gives us some time so that we can work with you and work with the lender to see if we can work on an agreement. In your folder, again, like Carol, I'm not going to give you specifics because it might be more than you really need. I will be happy to stay after and talk with you about your particular case. Versus Sharma is here from, she's one of the mediators here in the court in New Haven. So if anybody has a particular question, I'm actually going to ask Versha to just give a little specifics about how it works here in New Haven. But we'll be happy to answer any question. My contact information is in the folder that you have. You can call me or email me at any time. I can look up, if you have a lawsuit, I can look up your case when you call me, and I can give you particular information about your case and how you might be eligible or not for the mediation program. But what I want to say to you is, often, as the legislator said when we started, this is a scary process, and going to court, the thought of losing your home and going to court is very intimidating. What I want you to know is this process doesn't have to be that way. When you come to court, it is our job to make you feel comfortable, to make sure that any information you're given by the lender or any agreement that you might be willing to enter into is fully understood by you. So we will give you information, we will help you try to reach an agreement, and that is our goal. So please, reach out to us. This should not be in your mind when you're served a lawsuit for the foreclosure. I hope that you don't think that's the end, and that people, and often we see people just pick up and leave. There is hope, and we're doing, again, in the folder you can see we're doing tremendous, we have tremendous results with this program. Since the program began a year and a few months ago, we have had over 4,000 cases that have completed mediation, and of those, we have reached a settlement in 75%, and 62% of those cases, people stay in their homes. So to me, that's a remarkable number, and I just hope that all of you will go out and tell anyone that you might know in this situation, all is not lost. Even if you've been served by the marshal, doesn't mean you need to leave and walk away. Please reach out for help. Versha, do you want to just give any specifics about New Haven, or?
No. I am based in New Haven, so I'd be more than happy to answer questions. And like help you look up some of the specific case information. If you're interested, you can give us a call. We have our contact information available today as well. But again, the most important thing is that coming into mediation is not being in front of the judge. It is a chance for you to have a voice and speak to the lender directly and have them required to be available to you with answers to figure out sort of what needs to happen in order for you to get a workout, what needs to happen in order for you to stay in the home or sell the home or whatever your particular goal is. And it is also our goal to educate you on the procedure, the process, the timeline that we're working with, and it is a very relaxed environment. So, you know, please let us know if you have more questions. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bridget Russell, and I work as the director for the Homeownership Center at Neighborhood Housing Services. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how Neighborhood Housing Services and our foreclosure intervention department kind of plays a role. And actually, we all work kind of very closely together. And just to tell you a little bit about Neighborhood Housing Services, we've been around in New Haven for 30 years. In fact, yesterday just celebrated our 30th anniversary in New Haven. It really started with the development of affordable housing. Our primary market, of course, was a first-time home buyer. Developed a home ownership center because we needed to have the counseling services to go along with preparing people for home ownership. So in the home ownership center, we do pre-purchase counseling, but of course, a lot of what we've been doing over the past, actually we've always offered the foreclosure intervention counseling for the past 10 years, but over the past 2 years, 2.5 years, of course, has seen a significant increase. And if you looked at 2007, we probably saw about 100 people for foreclosure intervention. 2008, 533. 2009, we're probably going to do, by the end of the year, somewhere between 700 and 800 people, just to let you know the numbers that come to see us. Now, the first question that people normally ask, and I'm going to say my little handout over there is the Mortgage Assistance Clinic. First question that people normally ask is, what do you do? Or how can you help me? So I'm going to try and walk you through very quickly what we tell people. I mean, the very first thing I'm telling people is there's an application packet. They either come to our office, we're on 333 Sherman Avenue in New Haven, or they go to our website, www.nhsofnewhaven.org, and they download the mortgage intervention application packet. That's the very first thing people need to do. I'm always telling people we're not able to help you until we get an idea of what your situation is. One of the main things that's in that application packet is an income and expense analysis, or a budget, which you're going to sit down and do. Now, once you've completed the packet, got us the information we're looking for, you send it back to our office. The very next thing is a mortgage intervention clinic. Now, the clinic is where our coordinator really goes through how NHS will work together with you and the lender, looking at various options that are available, how we work with the lender, and then we talk about what are the state programs, what are the federal programs that are available. And we also go through what Varsha talked about, the timeline. I think we're very fortunate because we live in Connecticut, and Connecticut is a judicial state, and there is a timeline. You know, it has the, if there's any sort of foreclosure action that's going through the court, and it's important that people understand that, because I think one of the things we really want to do is alleviate fear. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, I'm behind in my mortgage, you know, I'm going to come home and there's a padlock on the door. Or I just don't know what my options are. So the clinic is really to kind of alleviate some of that fear, give the information in terms of what the options are out there, what's really working, because there are a lot of things out there that are working now. I don't know how many people are familiar with the terminology modification, but the modification is probably the #1 way that we've had people who are able to retain ownership of their home. One of the reasons why we really want to do that income expense analysis, though, is because it's important to understand that not everyone can retain their home, and not everyone is looking to. Some people are looking for ways out, and so we talk about all the different